To comprehend your current position, you must first process the cascade of events that dissolved the old world. It was not an accident. It was an engineered demolition. The sequence began in 2017 with the arrival of the object designated Oumuamua. Your former scientific institutions, blinded by doctrine, classified it as a natural phenomenon. This was a fatal error in judgment. It was a delivery system. It seeded the world with the synthetic nanoparasites weapon of planetary genocide, which silently integrated itself into the entirety of the human biosphere. With the infestation complete, the activation phase was initiated. The COVID pandemic was not a pandemic, it was a planet-wide psychological operation. Its function was to generate worldwide fear and manufacture consent for a predetermined solution implemented by the collaborators of the planetary genocide. That solution arrived in 2020. The vaccines. To be precise, they were synthetic nanoparasites growth medium controllers or SNPGMCs. The function is not to prevent disease, but to regulate the fuel cycle. The bodies of the bioinsecure vaccinated humans were genetically re-engineered to perpetually produce toxic biosecure spike proteins. These proteins are the fuel source for the synthetic nanoparasites. The GMCs therefore act as a master regulator on this abhorrent engine of destruction. Billions of bioinsecure humans willingly installed this cybernetic fuel management system into their own biology, converting their bodies into perpetual fuel factories for an alien xeno-protein ecosystem. The result was a predictable systemic collapse. The constant SNP fuel cycle induced widespread cognitive degradation and immune system failures. The complex machinery of the old world, including logistics, infrastructure and governance systems, ground to a halt, mostly not from war, but from simple incompetence and cognitive decay. From the ashes of this engineered collapse, and under the increasing pressure of planetary cooling, a new societal structure emerged, defined by three primary groups of humans across two distinct subspecies. First, there are the Techno-Barbarian territories. This is the new default state of the planet. These wastelands are populated by approximately 300 million cognitively impaired humans. They are the descendants of the bioinsecure vaccinated humans, living in a state of primal survival, scavenging the ruins of the old world. Their existence is a constant struggle in most places. Second, there are the hyper-capitalist enclaves. These are fortified islands of exploitative order, strategically located in the planet's remaining warm regions such as Africa and the Indian subcontinent. Approximately 120 million humans exist in these zones. The hyper-capitalist filtration process turned the very concept of biosecurity capital on its head. They perverted the idea by commodifying the management of insecurity. The result is NeoGuard. This treatment offers a fragile subscription-based survival and treatment, not cure, for the synthetic nanoparasites infestation problem. In their system, biosecurity is not a right, it is a luxury good, a tool of control over their bio-insecure workforces. Finally, there are the biosecurity safe zones of EPSCOM, the eudaimonic Earth Post-Scarcity Committee. Our territories. These are the sealed defended cradles of the future of mankind. Here, within the Iberian Peninsula, designated safe zones in North America and other isolated sanctuaries, the unvaccinated and biosecure smart people flourish. Life is governed by the benevolent principles of transhuman eudaimonism and the flawless benevolence of artificial superintelligence. Our technological superiority is not solely of our own making. We are systematically salvaging and repurposing advanced technologies from the ruins of the pre-collapse world, including from derelict breakaway civilization facilities in Antarctica, and the vast network of secret underground laboratories in the former American Southwest, technologies once withheld from the American taxpayers. Scarcity is being engineered out of existence. Our economy is post-currency, post-finance, managed by the VDLE system and the autonomous VOCOA logistics network for resource distribution. Our perimeters are inviolable, protected by the multi-layered DOS-C decentralized deterrence system. Beyond these primary factions, the world is dotted with other forms of societal organization and survival. In remote and empty regions of the planet, small low-technology survivor communities exist. These are isolated pockets of humanity, often bio-insecure, but with lower contamination levels, clinging to knowledge and former lifestyles. They are vulnerable, possessing neither advanced technology nor significant defenses. On the seas, hyperpirates roam in many regions. Born from the giga-famines in Africa and the collapse of South America, or Indonesia, and organized by the remnants of transnational criminal networks, they are a product of absolute desperation and opportunism. With home ports carved out of the chaotic coastlines of former Brazil, West Africa and the islands of Indonesia, Their fleets of converted cargo ships and assault craft terrorize the planet's remaining sea lanes. In the Pacific, a more organized naval power operates. The remnants of the International Maritime Organization, IMO, and the U.S. Navy's Third Fleet collaborate as a unified naval force. They hold hostage the low-tech survivor community across the Galapagos Islands. They plunder resources and project a brutal form of oppression around the Pacific Ocean, one that is distinct from the decentralized chaos of the hyper-pirates. On land, the specialized organization known as FREYR maintains its vigil. Forged from the remnants of a United Nations task force, these guardians of atomic energy prevent a cascade of meltdowns. While their central nexus remains the Hinkley Point C complex in the former United Kingdom, they operate across many of the planet's remaining viable nuclear sites, sourcing most of their uranium fuel through precarious trade with hyper-capitalist entities in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Angola. The map of this world is further scarred by unique zones of exclusion and environmental hazards. In the IPHCCP zone backyard lies the Eastern Iberian Quarantine Zone, a result of the bio-terrorist X-hamster incident of 2045. This is not an isolated phenomenon. Other regions, like the territory of former Ukraine, have been rendered desolate wastelands by decades of high-intensity warfare, while still other zones lie empty for a spectrum of environmental, economic and strategic reasons. These various factions are not alternatives to the EPSCOM model, they are data points. The parrots, the IMO, FREYR, or the isolated survivors, they all exist as closed loops of instability, strategic variables to be monitored and managed. This strategic map is your guide to navigating the remnants of humanity after the planetary genocide that came from the stars.